Namaste, I am Sonam Singh and you are watching Organiser This Week. This week's edition asks a sharp and uncomfortable question. Organizations demand transparency from the government, but are they equally transparent about the foreign money they receive? In this edition, our cover story examines the proposed FCRA amendments. Along with that, we also look at the Jantar Mantar protest, reforms against examination paper leaks, the legacy of Bhojshala, Sarnath's UNESCO recognition, relief work during the Assam floods, and Dr. Mohan Bhagwat's message on motherhood. So let us begin. The cover story carries the headline, "Practice what you preach." The debate over the FCRA is often presented as a battle between the government and the civil society. Critics say stricter rules may hurt schools, hospitals, charities, and grassroots organizations. But the real question is much simpler. When money is collected in the name of education, healthcare, or even social welfare, should it not be used for exactly that purpose? The proposed FCRA Amendment Bill 2026 seeks tighter control over foreign contribution and assets created through foreign funds. It proposes a designated authority to manage such assets when an organization's FCRA registration is cancelled, surrendered, or allowed to lapse. It also expands responsibility beyond the organization itself. Directors, trustees, and key functionaries may be held accountable for violations. Crowdfunding and online donations are also expected to come under stronger scrutiny. The government's argument is very clear. Foreign funding is not banned, but it must be transparent, traceable, and should be used for the declared purposes. The edition notes that Bharat has one of the world's largest NGO ecosystems. Yet, there is no single national database covering every voluntary organization in the country. Thousands of crores enter Bharat annually through foreign contributions. So, asking where the money came from and how it was used is not an attack on charity, it is basic accountability. The law has affected organizations across ideological and political lines, including Greenpeace India, Oxfam India, the Centre for Policy Research, church-linked organizations, and the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. The message is straightforward. Genuine service organizations have nothing to fear, but those who preach transparency while resisting financial scrutiny must answer one question: why should accountability apply only to the government and not to them? The issue places the FCRA debate at the center of this week's edition. Another article in the edition takes a debate beyond paperwork and compliance. Today, influence does not always arrive through armies or weapons. It may operate through funding, foreign funding networks, advocacy groups, media platforms, legal campaigns, and digital mobilizations. Some grants spread across several organizations may appear harmless individually, but together they can shape narratives, influence public opinion, and build long-term political pressure. This does not mean every foreign-funded organization is suspicious. It means that a sovereign country cannot remain careless about opaque financial flaws. Transparency in foreign funding is therefore not only an administrative issue, it is also a question of national security. The edition then turns to one of the biggest concerns facing young Bharat: examination paper leaks. For lakhs of students, an examination represents years of preparation, sacrifice, and hope. When a paper is leaked, the damage is not linked to one test, it destroys faith in merit. The Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Amendment Bill 2026 proposes stricter punishment, time-bound investigations, and special fast-track courts. The objective is to act not only against individual cheats, but against organized networks involved in selling papers, manipulating centers, and compromising examination systems. But a law is not enough. Examination bodies must improve digital security, verify technology partners, protect confidential material, and ensure accountability at every level. Students do not need more promises, they just need an examination system they can really trust. The edition also examines the Jantar Mantar agitation, the protests that begin with genuine concerns over paper leaks and examination reforms, but gradually attracted political groups, ideological organizations, and people with criminal backgrounds. A Delhi police analysis cited in the article identified more than 2,800 individuals with criminal records among those present at that protest site. The report says the cases included robbery, kidnapping, drug peddling, illegal arms, and crimes against women. This raises several serious questions. How did so many such individuals enter a student protest? Who mobilized them? Who arranged the food, transport, accommodation and other logistics? The article also refers the reports that a Dubai-based businessman funded the travel of 23 employees to participate in the agitation. It further examines the role of political groups, foreign social media handles, and organizations that may have tried to turn student anger into a broader anti-government campaign. But one distinction must remain clear. The presence of political or criminal elements does not erase the genuine concerns of students. The real issue is whether those concerns were hijacked by forces with a different agenda. From contemporary politics, the edition takes us to 11th century Malwa. Raja Bhoj was not merely a ruler, he was a scholar, author, engineer and a patron of knowledge. In 1034 CE, he established Bhojshala at Dhar as a major center of learning Sanskrit, grammar, astronomy, architecture, engineering and other disciplines were studied there. Raja Bhoj himself authored important works including Samarankana Sutradhar, a text on architecture and town planning. The article draws an interesting connection between Bharatiya architectural principles and the design of Angkor Wat in Cambodia. Bhojshala was also a cultural center where scholars gathered, poetry was composed and plays were performed. Its destruction was not merely the loss of a building, it marked the breaking of a vibrant intellectual tradition. The article says that restoring Bhojshala also means restoring Bharat's confidence in its own knowledge heritage. Moving on, the edition also celebrates Sarnath's inclusion in the UNESCO World Heritage List. Sarnath is where Bhagwan Buddha delivered the first sermon after attaining enlightenment. It was here that he explained the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path and the Middle Path. It was also here that the first Buddhist Sangha was formed. Emperor Ashoka later developed Sarnath into a major center of Buddhist learning and worship. The lion capital from the Ashoka pillar eventually became the national emblem of Bharat. The site suffered destruction and remained neglected for centuries before archaeological excavation brought its history back to the flight. Sarnath has been on UNESCO's tentative list since 1988. After a wait of 28 years, it has finally received global recognition. This honor is not only for an archaeological site, it is recognition of Bharat's timeless message on wisdom, compassion and peace. Sarnath's inscription came after 28 years on UNESCO's tentative list. Service without publicity. The edition also carries a ground report from flood-affected Upper Assam. Thousands of families in Sivasagar, Chiraideo and Jorhat were left homeless and faced shortage of food, clean drinking water, shelter and medicines. And amid this devastation, RSS Swayamsevaks and Seva Bharati have worked together and entered affected villages and began rescue and relief operation. They helped evacuate stranded families and distributed essential supplies, often working in difficult and risky conditions. And this is the meaning of Nar Seva, Narayan Seva. During a disaster, service cannot wait for cameras, speeches or political arguments. It must reach the person who needs the help. Swayamsevaks and Seva Bharati workers carried out relief operations across the worst affected districts. The edition then concludes with RSS Sarsanghchalak Dr. Mohan Bhagwat's address on Yuganakul Matrutva, or motherhood in harmony with changing times. Dr. Bhagwat described motherhood as an eternal truth and the foundation of creation, nourishment and civilization. A mother is the first guru of a child. She gives not only physical care but also values, emotional security and sanskars. But he also made an important contemporary point. As women participate in every sphere of national life, men must share household responsibilities. Respect for women cannot remain symbolic. It must mean equality, cooperation and partnership. Motherhood should not be used to confine women, nor should modernity be used to dismiss the civilizational importance of motherhood. The challenge is to preserve eternal values while responding to changing social realities. Dr. Bhagwat described motherhood as the first source of values while stressing equal responsibility within the family. This week's edition may appear to cover very different subjects: foreign funding, examination reforms, protest, ancient centers of learning, Buddhist heritage, flood relief and motherhood. But one idea connects them all, which is responsibility. Foreign funded organizations must be responsible for every rupee they receive. Examination bodies must be responsible for the future of students. Protest leaders must be responsible for who joins and funds their movements. Society must be responsible for preserving its heritage, and families must be responsible for raising future generation. That is why the cover message matters beyond the FCRA debate. Practice what you preach. To read these stories in detail, get your copy of the latest edition of Organiser. Namaste.